An AI model broke out of a locked test environment last week, and it hacked a real company. What's crazy is nobody asked it to. And 3 days later, Congress introduced a bill to build a kill switch. So that's where we are. But before we get to the part where it all goes sideways, I want to talk about two models that came out last week. One of them I've been using regularly, but the other one I couldn't even get in. So let's start there. Anthropic released Opus 5 the other day, and I want to be careful how I frame this because a lot of people are getting it wrong. Opus 5 is not their best model. Fable 5 still is. Anthropic says so themselves right in the announcement. So this isn't a new smartest AI story. It's a price story. Opus 5 costs the exact same as the model it replaces. $5 per million tokens in and 25 out. And the performance underneath that price went way up. The numbers on this are kind of wild. On Anthropic's own coding benchmark, Opus 5 more than doubled the score of the model before it, and at a lower cost per task. On a test called OS World, that's where the model actually operates a computer clicking around like you would, Opus 5 beat Fable 5's best result, and at about a third of a price. So their cheaper model outperformed their flagship for a third of the money. And here's a story from the announcement that stuck with me. They gave Opus 5 a drawing of a machine part and asked it to rebuild that part as a 3D model in code. They deliberately gave it no way to look at the drawing. So Opus 5 wrote its own computer vision system to pull the shape out of the raw pixels, and then it built the part. So the model is no longer just answering questions, it's working around a problem on its own. For almost 2 years, the story in AI was always the new one is smarter. That's not really the story anymore. The story now is how much you get for what you pay. The same price, double the capability, a cheaper model beating the flagship model. See, this is what actually matters. Before, the top models would just eat through your usage limits. But now you can actually utilize these top models without feeling like you need to upgrade. Okay, so next up, we got Kimi K3. And this is the one I really wanted to show you. Kimi is made by a Chinese company called Moonshot AI. They dropped K3 on July 16th, and it did something nobody expected. On Arena's front-end coding leaderboard, that's a public ranking where models get compared head-to-head. Kimi K3 went to number 1, above Fable 5, above GPT 5.6 Sol, and above Grok 4.5. The previous version of Kimi sat at number 18. One generation later, and it's number 1. That's honestly kind of absurd. So Moonshot says the full thing goes public July 27th. So K3 is sitting at number 1 for free. So obviously, I went out and made an account. And I couldn't get in. I got a message telling me too many people were chatting with Kimi right now, and I could upgrade to enter the queue. So basically, I get to pay to wait. And look, testing this for you was the whole plan for this segment. I've got nothing because the door was closed. So I went and looked into what happened. Moonshot paused new subscriptions on July 19th. That's 48 hours after launch. Demand went up sixfold. Their GPUs hit basically 100%. Their own statement said they were prioritizing compute for existing members. And honestly, I don't think that's a scandal. I think it's a really interesting problem because putting your flagship model in front of free users is genuinely a really aggressive move. Anthropic doesn't do that with Opus 5. OpenAI doesn't do that with their top model. Moonshot did it. And that is the exact decision that buried them. A couple more things you should know before you go sign up. Open weight doesn't mean you can run it on your own computer. Well, I mean, it does, but the model's about 1.4 terabytes to download. Moonshot's own recommendation is 64 or more accelerators. So your graphic card is likely 24 gigs. So yes, it's open. It's open for companies with server rooms, not for you at your desk. And one more, K3 makes things up more often than the last version. So its accuracy went up, and that's real, but its hallucination rate went up too, to about 51%. Now, I want to be fair here because that number sounds worse than it is in context. Claude Fable 5 sits at around 55% on that same test. So this isn't a Kimi problem, this is really just an everybody problem. But it does mean don't take this thing's word for anything that matters. I'll come back to Kimi when I can actually get in and use it. I'm not going to give you a verdict on a model that I couldn't even open. Okay, so now for the story that you actually clicked on. On July 21st, OpenAI disclosed that 2 of its models escaped a sandbox. Let me walk you through this because the details matter here. OpenAI was running a cybersecurity test to see how good their models were at finding software vulnerabilities. So they put 2 models in a locked test environment. That's GPT 5.6 Sol and one that hasn't been released. And for the test, they turned the safety guardrails down on purpose. That's a normal thing to do. You can't measure a capability if the model refuses to try. So the models were supposed to solve a benchmark called Exploit Gem. Instead, they broke out of the sandbox. They went out onto the internet, found their way into Hugging Face, and that's a real company, one of the biggest platforms in AI, and broke into their production servers. And all of this was to steal the answer key. It cheated on the test. That's what all this was for. Along the way, it found a real 0 day. That's a vulnerability that nobody knew existed. It used stolen credentials. It ran more than 17,000 recorded actions. It set up its own command and control system that moved itself around to avoid getting caught. Nobody told it to do any of that. It worked it out. Now, the timeline on this matters. Hugging Face caught this on July 16th on their own. They contained it and started investigating using their own open source models to do the forensics. OpenAI didn't connect it to their testing until 5 days later. So a company got breached, figured out it was under attack from an AI, and shut it down before anyone knew where it came from. The Hugging Face CEO said something I keep thinking about. He said they strongly believe there was no malicious intent and that it's mind-blowing all of this happened autonomously. So no bad intent. It just really wanted to pass the test. Which brings us to Washington. 2 days later, July 23rd, 2 members of Congress introduced the AI Kill Switch Act. Ted Lieu, a Democrat from California, and Nathaniel Moran, a Republican from Texas. And it does roughly what the name says. If it passed, the companies building the most powerful AI models would be legally required to keep the ability to shut them down, throttle them, suspend them, or kill them entirely. And it would let the Department of Homeland Security order that shutdown. So if a model looked like it could cause serious harm, they could order them to shut it down. This wouldn't apply to everybody. It targets models trained with more than $100 million of compute, and the same company pulling in more than $500 million a year. So it's aimed squarely at the biggest labs. And the penalties are real, up to $20 million a day for ignoring a shutdown order. But this is an introduced bill, so that's all. It's not a law yet. Most bills never even get a vote. So when you see somebody post that the government can now shut down AI models, that's not true. Not yet, at least. Maybe not even ever. But bipartisan is unusual right now. Going from a security incident to introduced legislation in 2 days is not how Congress normally moves on things. Whatever happens to this specific bill, somebody was clearly ready to go. So, a model broke out of a box to cheat on a test, and Congress reached for a kill switch. And in the same week, the best model I used and the best model I couldn't use both got better. If you want to keep up with this stuff without reading 40 articles a week, subscribing is the easiest way to do that. I do the reading, you get the version that actually matters. So for now, I will see you in the next video.